is Publio. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare our environment, to prepare our soul for the Spiritist talk tonight. So welcome to our meeting. First of all, I'm gonna sing a song called Vibrate. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. And now I'm gonna sing a song, Good Old Man. It's about our protector, our mentor, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the good, receive our praise and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the good, receive our praise and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the light, place
Wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow your path, Father, 'cause nobody's alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Disseminate wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start. When the sun turns off the moonlight, we get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, a new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and a new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win. It's It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
Now I'm gonna sing a song that really calmed me down. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done with the hay. Music lifts, his spirit sings sweet ballet. Nature's love, a constant giveaway. In joy and peace, my heart finds its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, I heard the sound of the sea far away. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. Body harmonizes, how well done with the hay. Music lifts, his spirit sings sweet ballet. Nature's love, a constant giveaway. In joy and peace, my heart finds its way. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway. If I close my eyes to pray, Jesus cradles me, in his arms I sway.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spirit Talk. We thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Before we start, as usual, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetizer water. So we invite you to set aside a container with your water to be magnetized. Our meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook and also every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern. New class will be starting in the fall. So reach out for more information through our social media and our Tuesday talk and stay tuned. We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? The gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings. By posting the chat, you can request it. So please let us know. And you are welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list of positive vibration for incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing energy and strengthen goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. The topic of today's meeting will be the Spirit's Word or the Word of Spirits, Part 2, Chapter 1, Spirits, from the Spirits book, which will be facilitated by our sister Anna from Alabama, US. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and they will be addressed at the end of the talk. It is now time for our opening prayer, and I would like to invite our speaker, and Anna,
Hello.
my friend.
Good friend. Good night. Good evening to everyone, joining us today. Of
Yes, thank you so much for coming. And could you do our opening prayer?
course, I'll be happy to.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, my friends. Like Marceli said, thank you for being here with us. And let's start with a prayer. Let's all close our eyes, breathe in and out. Thank God for this moment. Thank God for this opportunity to be together in Jesus' name, looking more and more for our spiritual advancement in this very noble but not so easy task of being a better person today than we were yesterday, being a better version of ourselves now than we were 5 hours ago. But we should remember that Jesus is with us. He's our brother, our counsel, our friend, our master, our pastor, and he does not abandon anyone. In this moment, with the hearts full of joy and gratitude for life, for all forms of life in the world, for the will to keep insisting, for that little voice inside our heads that says, try one more time. Thankful and joyful for life that always renews itself and finds a way to keep going, is that we ask Jesus and all the good spirits here with us, we ask them permission to start the studies of today. May Jesus be with us today and always, and so be it. All right. So, like Marceli said, we're going to talk about the spirits book today, and I'm going to try something new. So, hopefully, the my skills with the technology and the technology will hold. But today, I don't have slides. We're going to be going straight from the site that I would like to share with you. We always put the links here for the books. For the spirits book, for also for the gospel, right? We have also printed books that we have, but I wanted to share with you this resource too. So I will try to share, present, and share screen, and I will share right here. and we should be able to see. So if you want to search, or if you want to read any a lot of the Kardac's books, you can come to this site, and we are here on the English site, but you can change the language here to other languages, and this site is called Kardacpedia. So Kardacpedia, Kardecpedia, and like you see here, right, you can choose from any of the books. So usually we study the Gospel according to Spiritisms. Today we're gonna go into the Spirit's book. And here we already covered the introduction, right? And we also already cover the book 1 that talks about the first causes. So talks about God, the general elements of the universe, about creation, and about the vital principle. Today we are gonna go with chapter the book 2. Just 1 second. So we're gonna go with book 2 that talks about the spiritual world, and today we're gonna talk about chapter 1. So we're not going to go over the whole chapter 1 today because this is a long chapter, but we will talk, starting to talk about, spirits. What are spirits? And I'm going to go straight from here where we have, remember the Spirits book, it's a collection of questions and answers, the questions that Kardec created or formulated to the high spirits, and the teachings of the spirits in the sense that they're answers, so that we know more about the life in the spiritual world, and in this case about spirits. So there are a lot of questions here. I'm just gonna go over a few of them, and I really encourage you to take the whole chapter. This 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 resource is free, so if you can connect to the internet, you can go here and you can read that this resource, so you can read the Spirit's book. So the first question here, number 76 in this section, says, how can the spirits be defined? So what is a spirit, right? And the high spirits say that spirits may be defined as intelligent beings of the creation. They populate the universe outside the material world, right? And there are many other questions after that, but I wanted to call our attention to question 80, where Kardec asks if the creation of the spirits is continuous, or did they only take place at the beginning of time, right? Is there a continuous creation of spirits? And the answer, it is that it is continuous, as God has never ceased to create. So it made me think that if we think that some of us look a little bit more mature than others, it might not be just because of our choices and our experiences, but it could be, that we are younger or older, spirits in the sense of when we were created. Kardec keeps asking questions, and some of them, like if we go to question number 84 in this section, where we talk about the primitive normal world, and Kardec asks, do spirits make up a world that is separate from what we see? And the Spirit says yes. the world of spirits or incorporeal intelligences, right? So the spirits make up the spiritual world, right? And Kardec goes a little bit further. I mean, his questions are, great, right? Very intelligent, very well defined, and very pedagogical too. So he's saying, remember, we're continuing from book one, right? And he asks, which of the two, the spiritual world or the physical world or the material world, which one is the principal one in the order of things, right? Which one is the main one, right? Which one is the real one? And the spirit says the spirit world. It is pre-existent too and survives everything else. So that's also reminds us, right, to, because again, we study spiritism, at least that's what I try to do, not just to fill my mind with more knowledge, what it's not a problem, but what I want to do is, with this knowledge, to improve my life, right? To live a better life, to live, to learn this and apply in my life so that I can really become the best version of myself, or I can become that, beautiful, evolved spirit that God has in mind when He created me, right? So here is another reminder that even though, right, the some of us live in very material societies, right, that sometimes make us think, and that this material world is the main one, but that's not it, right? The spiritual world, it's no longer this time that we're here in this incarnation, in this birth, is just a little chapter of a whole book, right? Of our whole collection of books that makes our existence. So, if the spiritual world is the main one, is the real one, is the most important one, then I should be focusing on spiritual things, right? Not just exhausting my most noble and precious energies with things, with matters of the material world, right? I need, of course, I live here. So I need, of course, to take care of my body. I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to exercise. I need to go to work so I can pay my bills too, right? I can support my family. But that is not the main reason, right? Why I'm here. And thank God, because it would be really, really sad to just come, to this world to suffer, or to just work, 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 and then to pay bills, bills, and bills, and that's it. Right. So I think it's a small question there, and it might be a simple, information, but it's a small piece of information that can have so much more implications, in our lives. Um, and then on question 87, Kardec asks, do spirits live in a specific restricted region in space? And the answer is spirits are everywhere, and they populate infinite space in infinite number, imperceptible to humans unless those who have, right, a medium, this specific type of mediumship. They are always beside you, observing and acting upon you, as they are one of the powers of nature and the instruments employed by God to accomplish God's designs. All spirits do not go everywhere, and there are regions that are restricted to those who are less advanced. So here is something really important too, right? That the spirits are everywhere, even beside us, right? Observing and acting upon us, right? Influencing us, suggesting ideas, right? Thoughts to us. And we're going to see, because we're going to end today talking about the different types or the different order of spirits, because not every spirit is the same. And we are here also not talking about necessarily about visual, right, appearances, but morally. So the classification we're going to talk about, it's is according to their development and the level of morality and development. So we're going to see the difference between a more evolved spirit in terms of what kind of influence, what kind of suggestions they make, and a lower spirit, you know where what kind of thoughts and actions and ideas they incite or they inspire people to do, right? Of course, at the end, it's our choice to accept those suggestions or not. But we are, even though the spiritual world is the most important one, but we are here in the material world. God gives us this blessing of having this interconnection between these two worlds. And the reason or the purpose of this connection, it's really for learning more, just like this connection that Kardec had with the spiritual world, and they came and brought so much teachings to us. Sometimes the purpose of this relationship or this interconnection is to healing, right? Sometimes, healing the body, healing the spirit, either here in the material world or in the spiritual world. And all of this to bring us consolation, to open up our eyes to much more, right? Going above, right? This existence, this birth, and seeing how just, good, and merciful God is, that He creates all these spirits, but there are laws um, that govern all of us. But it doesn't matter if you're in the spiritual world or if you're in the material world, nobody's forgotten and everybody's interconnected, and we all can help each other, right? And these interconnections, it's exactly for that. Sometimes on the surface, a case of obsession could look like something bad, but like they're saying here, um, that the spirits are one of the powers of nature and the instruments employed by God to accomplish his designs, right? So, how complex is the love and the mercy of God that has this whole gamma of interrelations, and the space where that happens goes beyond the place where we are right here. Then the next thing that Kardec is asking, it's about the form of the spirits, right? He asks us, do they have form? He asks the souls to have a fixed, limited, or an unchanging form. And the spirit says for them, yes, but not for us, right? They say we can imagine spirits as a flame, a gleam, or a ethereal spark, right? So there are more information there, that I really encourage you to keep looking and keep going. But we are going to move now to question number 92. So you can see that there are some homework that you can do, and you can read, right, the questions, the whole chapter all over again, in your own time, and get your own reflections and get your own intuitions about, and conclusions about how you should and where you should apply that in your life and how you can apply that. And then on question 92, Kardec asks, do spirits have the gift of omnipresence? In other words, can a spirit divide itself or exist at several points in space at the same time? And the spirits say, a spirit cannot be divided, but every spirit radiates in all directions. That is how a spirit may appear to be in several places at once. The sun is only one body, yet it radiates in all directions, and its rays of light travel great distances, but it's not divided, right? So, just like the sun, it might look like the spirit it's showing in multiple places, but it's because it can radiate in all directions. And then we come to something, to a concept that is very important, right, in Spiritism, and it is the concept of perispirit, right? Usually, a lot of religions we talk about that we have a body and then we have a spirit, right? In Spiritism, we talk even about perispirit, right? So this layer or this envelope of the spirit, right, of the body that is in between your physical body and the spirit. The on question 93, Kardec asks, is the spirit uncovered or it's enveloped in a substance of some kind, as postulated by some? And the answer is the spirit is enveloped in a vapor substance as you perceive it, although that would seem too heavy and cumbersome to us. It is sufficiently vaporous to allow a spirit to float in the atmosphere and travel to space as so it desires. As the seed of a fruit is surrounded by its perisperm, the spirit is surrounded by an envelope that, by analogy, may be called the perispirit, right? Around the spirit. So, the perispirit, it's really important. And, a lot of people say that maybe the medicine of the future will include, studies and treatment, right, of the perispirit too. The perispirit, it's really important in a lot of things that, happen in the science of spiritism, in the realm of mediumship. So mediumship, you need to understand perispirit to be able to understand mediumship. It's important when we're talking about spiritual treatments too. So, like Marceli said in the beginning, if you really want to, know more about Spiritism, there's in that course that she talked about, Get to Know Spiritism has a whole class just on perispirit, so you can know a little bit more. So now I'm gonna try to change to some other visuals so that we can understand this perispirit a little bit better. So let me stop sharing the screen and then share again. But then let's look at this picture. So here we have a picture of an avocado, and you saw that the spirits use this analogy of a fruit, right? So this fruit also has at least 3 layers, right? You have this more thick cover that is the peel of the avocado that could be analogous to the physical body. Then you have, right, the fruit itself, right, or the perisperm, where we could think of that as the perispirit. And then you have the central core that is the seed that we could think in this model as, the spirit. So that is one way to visualize that. Let me see if you are. Let me share again, but now share this other picture. So in this one, we can see the body, right? Like with physical body that we know, right? If you've taken anatomy, right, or all the drawings like this, then you see the pair spirit that is more fluid, right? And but it mimics the shape, right? A little bit of the physical body. And then you have the spirit here represented by a flame, right? And remember that in one of the questions, that's what Kardec asked, what is the shape or the appearance, right, of the spirit? And, the spirit said that it looks like, if it was, like a flame. Um, so coming back here, and I hope now you're not seeing a picture, but you're seeing me. One of the best, analogies for the perispirit that I've seen before, it was like if you have a pen. So I just have a regular pen here. And if you think about the this capsule, right, would be the body. This little tube that has the ink inside would be the perispirit. Is a little bit more, flexible and everything. And the spirit would be the ink inside here, right? The perispirit. So, this is what makes the pen, just like the three parts is what makes us, right? A person. So we have a body, perispirit, and the spirit. And I love this because, one is encapsulated in another. So it's like they're one inside the other and they make the pen, right? The most important part of here is really the ink, right? That's what you have in every single, pen. Sometimes the pear spirit, right? This material here might be a little bit different, and the cover, the body, right? The physical body can be so much different too, in so many different types of pens, but this is basically it. So hopefully in either the analogy of the pen, then the pictures that we show you showing, like the three bodies and the two bodies, and then the flame, or in the analogy of a fruit with the three layers, you can understand a little bit better about the pear spirit. So let's go back to Kardecpedia and to the Spirit's book, and now to question 94, where Kardec asks, so if we have a pair spirit, this semi-material envelope for the spirit, where does the spirit draw the pair spirit? And the answer is from the universal fluid of each world. For this reason, the pair spirit is not the same in every world. When traveling from one world to another, the spirit changes its envelopes as you change your clothing, right? And then on question 95, here is about this very important characteristic of the perispirit is that it's moldable, right? It can be transformed. So Kardec asks that does the semi-material envelope of the spirit or the perispirit, can it assume specific forms and they can ever become perceptible to us? And the spirits say yes, it can assume any form that the spirit may choose. This is how a spirit sometimes is able to make itself visible to you, whether in dreams or when awake, and can assume a form that may be visible and even tangible. So, this is also another point that is so important. So, when we say we are what we think we are, you know, if we cannot, know that we are making changes to our physical body, we can be assured that we are making changes to our perispirit, right? So, in order to have a healthy perispirit, we have to have good, right, thoughts, and we have to have that confidence, right? We have to have the Christian joy in us, so because these thoughts, they have they're very powerful that we have, and they can mold, they can change a little bit this perispirit, right, that is in between our body and our spirit. So that's why things that sometimes happen to our body can affect our spirit through the perispirit, or things that we think, right, that also that we feel that are, inherited, not necessary to our body, but to our spirit through the perispirit, it can end up and also affect our physical body. Um, so now we're gonna talk. This section is very long too, because it gives us a lot of examples so that we can understand the different types or the different orders of spirits really well. We are not going to go in so much detail. We're going to give you like the overall, and then you can go back and know more, specific, and read this again and again. So what is the hierarchy of the spirits? Kardec asks, are all spirits equal, or is there a hierarchy? Is there any categories or levels? And the spirits say there are varying degrees according to the level of purification that they have attained. And Kardec asks, okay, is there a set number of orders or degrees of purification among spirits? And the spirits say the number is unlimited, because there's no marked line between the different degrees of elevation, as there are no fixed or arbitrary divisions among spirits. That may be a greater or lesser order number of orders, depending on the point of view from which they are contemplated. If we consider the general characteristics, we may reduce the spirits and the whole gamma of variation in between them to three principal orders, right? So the highest rank is held to those who have reached perfection. So, order number one, right? These are the pure spirits. In the second rank, we have those who have reached the middle of the ladder, right? The ladder of elevation, right? These spirits are mainly concerned with doing good. And the third, or the lowest rank, comprises those who are towards the bottom of the scale, and they are called imperfect spirits. They are characterized by ignorance, a penchant of malevolence, and all the low passions that hinder their progress. So, guess what? We're here as a group, right? On average, right? Some of us might be a little bit less or a little bit more elevated, but as an average, Earth spirits here incarnated on Earth, because we are a world of trials and expiation, going to regeneration. We are order number 3, right? So we are here, right? And if we really take the things that we watch on TV, the things that we see that happened, that if we are really honest with ourselves and the things that we are capable of doing, right? Or the things that we are not capable of doing in terms of good, but the things that we are still capable of doing in terms of, uh, you know, less, evolved, or less um, highly moral attitudes and thoughts and actions, then we can really agree that, yeah, that is the ranking that we are, right? um then Kardec asks a little bit um about the second order. So he asks, do second order spirits only desire good, or do they also have the power to accomplish it? So the answer is that the power is proportionate to their degree of perfection. Some are distinguished by their scientific knowledge, other by their wisdom and kindness. Despite this, it's still necessary for all of them to experience trials. So, we learn and we evolve, and we'll talk a little bit more, next time when we continue this chapter, that we evolve and we mature as spirits through trials and expiations, right? Expiations are the things, that we are doing to repair bad actions that we did. So, as we are evolving, we should have less expiations because hopefully we're making better choices and we're having less to repair. But we will still have some trials because the trials are really tests, right? So if I think I'm patient, the only way to really know that is to test that patience. And it's through a trial to test my patience, right? So uh, even though as we evolve, we might not have expiations, right, anymore, but like Kardec, the spirits are saying here to Kardec, even if they are on the second order of spirits, that they are already in the middle of that ladder, they are always still necessary for them to experience trials. And then Kardec asks a little bit more about the third order of spirits. And he asks, are all of them essentially bad? And the spirit says, no, some are neutral, not doing any good or bad. Red alert there for everybody, right? So if we think being neutral is good, it really is not, right? Because, okay, you're not doing bad, but you're also not doing good. So he says that not all, right, are essentially bad, and some, in contrast, others take. So some are neutral; they are not doing good, but they also don't do any bad. But others take pleasure in weakness and are delighted when they find an opportunity to do wrong. Others might be flippant or mischievous rather than malicious. They amuse themselves by perplexing the human beings on whom they are able to act and annoying them for their own pleasure. Um, and now Kardec goes in more detail about the spirit hierarchy. So we talked about having three orders, right? And in this order, the spirits talk about 10 classes of spirits, right? So guess what? The third order has 5 classes. Then the second order has 4. And the first order only has 1 class of spirits. So if we look at the third order, we have spirits who are impure spirits. They are inclined to wrongdoing and make it the center of their attention. Then we also have frivolous spirits. These spirits are ignorant, mischievous, irrational, and masters of ridicule. We also have false scholars. These spirits often possess considerable knowledge, but fancy knowing a great deal more than they actually know. Then we have neutral spirits, and those spirits are neither good nor enough to do right, nor bad enough to do wrong, right? And then we have the boisterous and disrupted spirits. Strictly speaking, these spirits do not form a clear cut category based on their personal qualities. They may even belong to any of the third order class. Then, if we move to the second order, like I said, we have 4 different classes in there. And we have benevolent spirits. These spirits shine in their sense of kindness. We have scholarly spirits. These spirits are particularly marked by the vast extent of their knowledge. We have wise spirits. These spirits are set apart by their extremely elevated moral qualities, and they have superior spirits. These spirits exemplify scientific knowledge, wisdom, and goodness. And like I said, in the first order, that's the order of the pure spirits, we only have one class, and it's the class of the pure spirits. These spirits have climbed every rung of the ladder of progress and have shed all the impurities of the matter, right? They have reached the sum of perfection that can be achieved by created beings. They no longer experience trials nor tribulations, right? They no longer subject to reincarnation. They enter eternal life in the immediate presence of God. They enjoy permanent happiness because they are no longer subject to the wants or variations of material life, right? This happiness is not the tedious idleness of perpetual contemplation. They are God's messengers and ministers, the executors of God's will in maintaining universal harmony. They exercise independent control over all inferior spirits, aid them in accomplish their purification, and assign each of them a mission for their progress. So here we talked about, this is the chapter about the spirit. So we talked about the spirit, that the spirits are created continuously, that the spirits make up the spiritual world, that the spiritual world is the true world, that spirits live in the spiritual world, that the spirits can radiate in different directions. We talk about perispirit, this envelope that is moldable, right? That covers, the spirit. It comes from the fluid around the world that we live, and the form, right? It's very moldable. That's one of the characteristics. So remember that thing that, the perispirit can be whatever the spirit thinks it is, then it can take that shape. um, we talked about the hierarchy in terms of evolution of the spirits. And we said that we have the first order, or the pure spirits. There's only one class of spirits there. Then we have the second order. And in that, we have four different classes of spirits there. And then the third order, right, of the impure spirits, that actually is where most of us, or the spirits on earth on average are in there. um so remember too that, this classification takes into account not just how much bad you do, but also how much good you do not do, or you do, right? And next time we can talk a little bit more about how the spirits progress, right, through these stages, or through these classes, or through the time it was created until the time it becomes a pure spirit, and about angels and demons. So that's what I had, friends, to share with you all today. And I really encourage everybody to read the chapter, and, post any questions and let us know what you thought about it. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my friend, for your presentation. Lots of information, right? Especially for whole people who don't know about spiritism. So, but you did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do have two questions.
Hmm.
The first one is from our brother Publio. He
Uh-huh.
is asking, is the subject of this, or are like, is this subject that you were talking about are in the course Get to Know to Spiritism?
Yes, there is. So for sure, there is one class on perispirit, right? There is also a class on the plurality of the worlds, right? So yes, we go much more in detail in, what I tried to talk like in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we have quite a short time here, right? So we don't have
Right.
much time to talk about all the information. And I
Right.
have this question for you, but you answered my question after I put my question here. But if you wanna like talk a little bit about, I was
Uh-huh.
asking like, if spiritism teaches us that we are surrounded by spirits, what can I do to attract elevated spirits, and how can I tune into them? Like, how can I like listen their intuition, their
You
help?
can connect with them, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So, I mean, it's, we attract what we are, right? So that's why it's so important to monitor our thoughts. I think there is one part here where it really says that, like these more inferior spirits, they would be what they know how, what suggests it's lower thoughts, right? Is
Mhm.
thoughts, they're not very productive, they're not very healthy. So sometimes when we have these thoughts, it could be this influence, right? The same way when we have, good, suggestions for us to be, it's almost like this, in TV, right? In Hollywood or whatever, they talk about the two little monsters. Like sometimes you have in each one of your shoulders, you have a little devil and a little,
Mhm.
angel.
Angel.
One is saying something, and so the both messages are always there, but
Mhm.
we are gonna tune in to the good or to the bad depending on our disposition, right? Are we trying, because I know we are not perfect and we're not going to be perfect like in one birth or one incarnation, right?
Mhm.
But are we trying really our best every day to be better, to be more charitable, to be more kind to people, to take responsibility instead of, blaming others? Are we really thinking, okay, like not trying to be like, oh my gosh, this happened to me, why, right? Like in, oh, I don't deserve this or something, but saying very in a very mature way, saying, what is this trying to help me or to
Mhm.
teach me, right? How can I
Instead of think that you are a victim, right?
exactly, taking the responsibility, right? Not the guilt, like, okay, I do everything wrong, but taking the responsibility and say, yeah, maybe that was not a good choice, but what can I do moving forward?
Learn
So
from the mistakes, right? And then do
exactly,
better next time.
and being humble about that, right? Yes,
Mhm.
I didn't do, well, I lost my temper, or I said something I shouldn't have, or I could have done more. Sometimes one of the things that I always think is that we hesitate much more to do the good than we hesitate to do the bad, right? If
Mhm.
we're in the traffic and somebody cuts us, I think it's so much easier to say something, to blurt something out. But if we see somebody on the street that needs something, we're thinking, what are they going to buy with the money I give? What if they don't, are not nice to me? We sometimes take so much time
Yeah.
that then the person passes
Judging them, right? Instead of helping them, right?
judging them or asking, questions that we don't ask all these questions when it's time, like, to act in a bad way. Sometimes that feels more
Yeah.
natural. So, is this thing too. It's like trying to, when it's time to do something good, just trying to push
Yeah.
yourself a little bit, then, taking a little bit of that lag time where you're just thinking and, contemplating, and again, and just trying to, act more. So, we will attract the thoughts, and the inspiration, and there are some practices, right? If you always watching things, they are very violent, they are not, uh they're not positive, then you're going to be tuning in with the negative more. But having the habit of prayer, right,
Mhm.
of reading, inspiring books, something that's going to help you, that you can learn too, right? I think is our friend, uh Vanessa from our friends in Kardec Radio, that she says that, the obsessors, they don't like libraries, right? They don't. So, if you study, if you're doing something productive, then you're gonna be in the company of the spirits who also like knowledge. They like, the effort to become someone better. So we're never alone, but our company depends on how we are feeling, what we are thinking, and what we are doing.
Great. Thank you so much once again.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye. So now we will move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with health and positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instruction or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that you and your family can benefit from. We will now make our prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So now I invite everyone to close our eyes, elevate our thought, think in God, and let's be thankful. Thank God for the opportunity to be here, to learn a little bit more about Jesus' teachings, a little bit more about the real life, learn from the things that really the things that are very important in order to everybody progress ourselves. So may we can understand everything that our friend and sister Anna brought to us, and make we can reflect, make we can make some changes in ourselves in order to connect to the good spirits. Master Jesus, please help us in all our difficulties, all the struggles that we are facing. Please help all the people who are suffering now, who are with some illness, some disease. Please, may your love spread all around the world, because we just need your love and your peace. We ask the good spirits to protect us, protect all the names who are on the vibration list. May all of them can benefit from the spiritual treatment as well. God, please bless our week, ourselves, our family, friends, and everybody on the face of earth. May we can rest this night, certainly knowing that you are with us and protecting us today and always. So be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position, which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, his warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Concaprous Americas through at 8:30 p.m. And next Wednesday, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. And please don't forget to follow us on Spiritism Canada on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and the Spiritist group Path of the Light on Facebook as well. Have a good night.
Come on, my friend. body to the